Hey, what's happening, guys? Chris VA Travels. I'm down here in Mathews County, just off the Mob Jack Bay, which leads into the Chesapeake Bay. And I'm going to visit Poplar Grove, historic home that was the birthplace of famous Civil War nurse, Captain Sally Tompkins. Yeah, she was one of only 2 commissioned female captains during the Civil War. And the home was owned by John Lennon. Yeah, so check this place out. Yeah, guys, the original portion of the house would be this wing right here, this brick wing. I had read online, built in 1770. The lady who was one of the partial owners says it goes back to 1740, but it was built by a Samuel Williams. I'm assuming the namesake of the local town just nearby of Williams. And you'll see the clapboard wing on this side. And very grand home. I like how the hyphens look like little houses on their own, gable. Right there, this has got a screened-in porch. And that is a very impressive pediment. They're calling it temple form pediment. Some big fat columns. The house was built up in this main portion. It was built in 1799. After the property had been acquired in 1795 by Colonel John Patterson. And he's the grandfather of the Captain Sally Tompkins. His daughter Mariah had married Colonel Christopher Tompkins, and yeah, so it fell into their hands. And then, yeah, like I say, Sally and her siblings were born here. And the Captain John Patterson, he was a Revolutionary War veteran and also served as a Virginia delegate. Impressive gable. And geese flying right on top of the mill. Wow. And this is a tidal mill, and it is the last tidal mill in Virginia. And it looks like we have a little walkout right there. And you're gonna have these jib doors. It looks like the window down below has got 2 little doors you can open. So it would turn that into an exterior door. Big old fan light right there. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Bill Molyneux. Oh, check out this kind of brackets. Always like to zoom in on this. I know I have a lot of architects and architecture lovers who watch these videos, so I always try to get the detail. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Bill Molyneux. There he is right there with Goober the Traveling Bear for help getting me out here. Check out his channel, Bill's History World with Goober. Big old magnolia right here. And you'll see a brick wall leaning off the side of the house. A serpentine wall, it looks like. And these walls are original, she had said. Okay, rocking chairs right here. Just kind of a simple door. But yeah, check it out. Going back to the at least 1770, possibly 1740. And the house remained in the Tompkins family hands until 1849. Oh, pretty neat little kind of fan designs in those gables. Just whitewashed brick. I'll be going inside, but I'll go ahead and take a peek through the window. Oh, all right, so they've got some old piano right there. Just kind of part of a iron fireplace. Looks like the original flooring. Yeah, like I say, serpentine brick wall right here. It's original. Pretty neat. And yeah, it goes on down. Little gate right there. Pretty cool. But let me take a look at the sign. Oh, gambrel roof. Didn't realize. Yeah, tall, narrow window. Oh yeah, we've got a few outbuildings. Hopefully he explained. I don't see how to cut. Oh, I can go through it right here. Yeah, attachments back here. Dormer up there. Little pediment. All right, so backside of the original portion. All right, guys, so we've got the dairy right here. See a little ventilation towards the top in the smokehouse. And he says there's a ham hanging inside. Yeah, cedar shingles. Don't know if maybe this was originally the carriage house, now a garage, or if it's just been built recently. And this is a pump house over here. I don't know why there's an upper level to it, but you'll see the pump right there. Be a well down below. Oh, is this a fireplace back? Or a stove back? I don't know. Neat design on there. Ah. It's got some gabled pediment on this building. Wondering what this was. Oh. And a giant sycamore. 1960s, this kitchen was added on. You'll see the giant fireplace at the back of it. And even have a gable on the back of this hyphen. Narrow fireplace right there. Wow, 24 panes on that window. All right, so this is the Nomad house that was originally attached to the front of the house with the giant columns, the big portico. That portico was added in the 1920s, so it was kind of an entranceway. I'm not sure exactly what they had going on, but yeah, he said it was sitting out front here. It would have been underneath what is now this giant portico. And then for a time, it was attached to the side of the house. And then, yeah, eventually moved back there. And yeah, they had a door right here. You can kind of see with the bricks. Kind of patched it over. Right here, this is cypress. Built to last. But yeah, let me go on in, check out the inside. Hey guys, yeah, I wanted to tell you that we're actually off the East River, which flows into the Mobjack Bay, which flows into the Chesapeake Bay. Yeah, and I wanted to tell you about that John Lennon connection. He had purchased the house early 1980, only owned it for less than a year because unfortunately he was assassinated up there in New York in December of 1980. And the first night they arrived, they say he and Yoko pulled up in a limousine. And from what I gathered, they only stayed here a couple times after that. But he had bought the house because it was quiet. Apparently it ended up being a little too quiet for his liking. They had also purchased it to be a tax shelter. He purchased the properties through a real estate investment firm that he had created called Pinnacle Realties. And he had also bought the nearby Aubrey Plantation. I'll tell you, the Tidal mill out there on the water, he had intended for that to be a recording studio. And he also had a Norwegian man live here, a caretaker named Augie.
I'm Josie Thorpe, one of the 4 members of the foundation who bought this wonderful property to restore, first and foremost, the mill, and then to do what we can to save this beautiful plantation house. The earliest part, 1740, and then what they did in those days is that they kind of put houses together. So when you tour the house, you'll see sometimes we have to step up, sometimes we have to step down. But that's the beauty of this. We're always finding something new in this house. But come in, please. This is the back entrance. You saw the front entrance, which is, we can't let anybody in the front way because It's in bad need of repair. This kitchen was added on in 1964, and it was completely brought in, and the tiles were from Italy. And there are 39 drawers and cabinets in this kitchen, and when we bought it and came in, it took us 4 solid days to take things off of the floor in order to see what was in these cabinets. And then slowly but surely, we started taking things out and putting them back in. And the previous owner was a hoarder, and every single one of these cabinets was filled, just jammed full. Not neatly set up like this, but just jammed full. And story is that she was a hoarder. But the reason is because she also had a couple of 4, if not 5, trailer parks. So she had 4 trailer parks, some in Virginia Beach, and if the people couldn't pay the rent, she'd say, "Okay, I'll come in and take something of value and put it in the house." So that's how she accumulated all this stuff, and it was stuff too. So as I said, each one of the 39 cabinets and drawers were full of not treasures. We tried to get rid of things, but nobody wanted them. These are modern devices back in 1964. You look at this wonderful area here where you have the fountains and for the ice cream and the sodas. It's just incredible. And then over here, we have a wonderful contraption.
Oh, neat.
And there's your mixer.
Huh. Okay, pretty cool.
There we go. You can just imagine being in this kitchen, having actually logs and having it burning. It would be a very nice, warm, usable kitchen.
Oh, it's quite a chair right here.
This, we believe, was the rector's chair at St. John's, which was the Episcopal Church in Mathews. And it was torn down. That was torn down probably in early 1980s.
Blew a little up here now.
And that's how we found it, and that's how we're leaving it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen a spice cabinet like this.
Oh, neat.
And again, when we came in, it was filled with cans. One of the cans went back to 1982,
Really?
and they had evaporated. So, and picking them up, I would pick them up, and it would be like, it was so light because it was empty.
Yeah.
And on top of here, she had all the liquor bottles. And all of them had been opened anyway, so we threw them all out because we weren't going to take a chance. When they built this kitchen, they also built this little area back here for the laundry, and there was a security in here at one time. I have no idea.
That's So, laundry room. Is that a camera for the
I have
security?
no idea. No idea what that is.
Is this a barometer over here on the wall? Tide gauge, fisherman's tide gauge. Or tide guide, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it's high water, low water. Pretty neat.
And lots of porches.
Okay, that
We-
was that side porch. Is that a storm cellar down there, or?
That's where the old burner was. The oil burner. These were, again, part of our collection of stuff. These are all full, both sides.
Take a look in there. Yeah, there's something.
On both sides. So she had a lot of things a lot of places she could hide things. Pictures that we have found over the course of the four months since we've owned it. Lots of pictures of her doing tea parties. Her, by I mean Bernadine. And that faded picture over the fireplace is of Bernadine. She was also an equestrian. Several places throughout the house we would find her old hats. She had silks that we found, 2 of her silks. Again, these pictures that we kept on finding, these pictures would be in different parts of the house depending upon who she was having and what these are the only, there's maybe 4 pictures that still remain in the house. And I have a feeling whoever painted these took this as, you can see with that picture over there, that painting over there.
Very similar. Okay.
Yeah. These pieces of furniture were left here by Bernadine. As I said, she had several tea parties, and we hope to be able to have tea parties again. And some of the pictures that we found showed different things on the wall. There's a large mirror here. You can kind of see the outline.
Yeah.
And this was an elevator. We took the elevator out a couple months ago because we wanted to see what was in those cabinets again. And this went up to, which I guess was the master bedroom at one time. So they would come down here.
Oh, it's Sally right here.
Sally Tompkins,
Yeah.
yes. She was born here. Sally Tompkins was born here.
I'm gonna walk up.
We've had both Colonial Williamsburg and the Fairfield Foundation come in and ooh and ah at this house. And mainly because of the molding. They love the molding in this house, as we do. The molding that they're most impressed with is this molding here, because this was all hand done while it was wet. We found, you can see from the floor, there's lots of indications of rugs that were here for a long period of time. So this was the main entrance. Beautiful, beautiful view. One beautiful thing about this is that you open it up, and in the olden days, there was always cross ventilation. And this is just a beautiful view that we have out here. This piece of furniture was left here. This clock, we don't know what we're going to do with it. It doesn't have all of the chiming doesn't have all of the pieces in it. But it's just, and that mirror, that's a nice mirror. That should stay here. As you can see, we have hot air with radiators, heat in a couple of the rooms, but not all of them. This is the living room, and each one of these bookshelves was just packed with books. I have no idea where she got them, but these were all brought in by the previous owner, which is Bernadine. Nothing that we have found dates earlier than when she bought the property in '84. And she bought it from, they had an auction. John Lennon and Yoko Ono bought the property in '80, and then he was killed shortly thereafter. So we don't believe he ever lived here. He had a caretaker, and the caretaker lived here for at least 2 years until it was sold. It was given to to a boys group, boys home, and then when they couldn't make a go of it, then they had to just to put it up for auction. We found these trunks in so many different rooms, and there was some out in the garage too. I have no idea. There are 2 pianos in this house. This one, which, again, the pictures, we've seen somebody playing, for whether or not it's just a party or if it's a tea or whatever. This is one of her dolls that we found, the 300 dolls. And I'm sure that David mentioned to you that, or maybe somebody asked whether or not we could ever make the mill workable. And the answer is no, because you see all these wonderful houses here along the water's edge, that if the mill was to be put back in working stage, we would have to block off that, and so that would close off the entrance for people who now have these wonderful homes, that they couldn't use their water in front of their houses. We like our neighbors. All of the closets and everything were jammed full of her clothes. Again, this is Bernadine's clothes. some more. This cabinet here had about 700, maybe even 1,000 magazines in it. It was just jam full. This is another one of those, this is where you step down. So this area here was brought in, this house was brought in. This was her office, her studio. These are some of the things that we found that we're going to save, and when we do a tea party or something like that, we'll be able to put these out as she would have done so. I mentioned that she was into writing. These were two of her silks. Oh, so this is interesting. This is the plat that was done in 18, here's a ship here. So this is Poplar Grove here. This is the tide mill right here. This is the house.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay. Neat.
And another one shows a different ship. This is the steamer versus the sailing. And each room, you see, it has different molding, but it has molding. And even over the doors, the trimming. This was her bathroom, the blue bathroom. So interesting with the switches, and this switch over here too. They're just different.
Yeah.
They're more unique. As I mentioned, there were houses that were put together. So there are 4 staircases in this house. Do you know what this is? This is porcelain, put the water in there. And this is what they used to have in the carriages. And they would put their feet on here to keep their feet warm.
Okay. That's pretty neat.
See how narrow this staircase is. So remember you saw that fire system downstairs. This is one of 2 fire that you pull for fire. Again, every single closet was full. This is interesting though, because this is the outside of the house. That's how the outside was built. There's no insulation. As I mentioned, that this she was into writing, so we thought probably these kept her silks or something on them. We found some of her writing gear in here. And just look at all these cabinets. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, This is sinking here. So we have no idea. When we start renovating, we have no idea what we're going to get into. But these floors, look at how wide the planks are.
Yeah.
So it's going to be beautiful once they're refinished. And this is a house that was put in next to one, so now we have to walk up. And look, unfortunately, look at these cracks. This was obviously the children's room. When we came in here, and the first time we saw it, we had 2 cribs, we had lots of chairs, and we had several hundred of the dolls that were scattered on the floor. And you'll notice also, again, with the cross ventilation, you had a window here and a window there. You had a transit also. So you had cross ventilation, and you're right on the water, so you had wonderful breezes. So in the summertime, which was very warm in Virginia, at least you had natural air conditioning. We figured the last time anybody lived in here was 1984. Excuse me, no, it could have been later than, Bernadine died in 23. She had a daughter that died, unfortunately, when she was very young, 35. She left 2 sons, and the sons didn't like living here, so it was an unhappy situation for her.
It's kind of an angle, huh?
We have no idea. Even Colonial Williamsburg and Fairfield Foundation have no idea why the slope and the stairs, the floor, have no idea why that slope is. Doesn't indicate it underneath it. And you notice the door here was sloped down.
Interesting.
I showed you where that elevator was downstairs in the dining room.
Yeah.
That's where it came up, over there. There was a nice brass bed in here. And Bill has a picture of what it looked like when we first got it, when it was crammed full of stuff.
Floor kind of goes up right here also. Kind of rises right there. He's got a jig door over here. Window turns into a door.
Another wonderful porch. And we hope that when we start renovating, when we take off some that we're going to find, old working fireplace maybe. We have no idea what's behind those. We know it's brick, but we don't know if it's a fireplace. Of course, there's lots of stories about this room and the next room. Is that early on during the Civil War, that's where they would hide people, and we do have one actual place in the floor downstairs where they did put their treasures, their money and their gold, probably for the bathtub or something, access to the pipes. This is called the crow's nest up here. Careful of your head. This was the dormitory, and when we bought it, there were 4 large cots. You can see kind of painting where 2 of them would have been, and 2 here. Have no idea who would have lived here. I don't think the Bernadine's grandsons would have lived here, because they would have lived on the 2nd floor. So this was probably going back to the 1800s. And a recent caretaker, C.W. Hudgens, his father was a caretaker here early on, and telling stories about how he would come in here with his friends and they'd stay upstairs. They used to sleep in this area, and then they used to play over here. You can see this is a nice room here for kids to play in. And there's our wonderful Phillips window. And it's in need of repair. We didn't see the house or the mill before we had the keys, and we got the keys on a Friday, and we came in here. The 3 of us came in here on Saturday, and there was a dead raccoon in there, and this upstairs just smelled terrible. It took us several days before we could get in and see what mess this was upstairs. Just recently, like in the last month, we had the roof repaired because we had holes in our roof. And it was utilized. Believe you me, was it utilized? Some more of the wonderful closets. I mean, the storage in this house is magnificent. And we had slate roofs. We had asbestos siding, asbestos shingles. Yeah. So now this is the main staircase. We didn't come up this way, but this is how we're going down. We found pictures of bride coming down these staircases. We have to do a little investigating because this here, there's a wall here, and there has to be another room behind here, but it's completely enclosed. So we have, this backs up to the bathroom back here. There's 2 of these, matched pair. A door here, a door there, again cross ventilation. This is our third staircase. This is the quarter bathroom. This is where that room is behind there. We don't know what's behind there. So our thinking is that maybe if we needed to make this bathroom larger, we have that mysterious room back there to go into. Don't know. So this is our third staircase. We found another beautiful brass bed in here. The one thing that this room is lacking, closets.
Yeah.
It's the only room in the house that does not have a closet. But then this was a different house that was brought in. The reason probably that didn't have a closet, she looked at the skeleton here and it looks like there was some kind of a large closet of some sort. You can tell by the outline of the wall. Here's the other fire alarm. So there's two. Again, cross ventilation. And now we're entering into the earliest part of the house. This is the 1740. In the far bedroom, the boards were vertical and these are horizontal. Just a little different. So this is the oldest part of the building. So then this is the staircase.
Okay.
One disappointing thing, only disappointing thing in this house is that I was so hoping that you'd have hidden shutters behind here, but you don't. And again, that these should lift up and you should have storage under here, but you don't. So that's the only disappointing thing in this whole house. But you see the extra trim that they did?
Yeah.
I mean, the molding is wonderful. The amount of finishing that they did, just incredible. And now we're going down the fourth staircase, the last staircase. Take note of this wallpaper. Again, Colonial Williamsburg and Fairfield Foundation both love this wallpaper. They said it was very unique. Neither of them could agree on where the front door would have been. Our thought is, you can see that the chimney is boat out. And so we don't know what we're going to get into when we take off that front part of the fireplace.
You don't know who this is?
I have no idea who that is in that picture. This was the music room. And when we came here, not only was the piano here, but all these different instruments. And some of them had been moved or purchased. This is my favorite piece of furniture that was here. We haven't decided where we're going to put it. It's heavy, so we took out the drawers. Now remember, I said that there was kind of a secret little area where they kept their treasures.
Yeah.
And it was right here. And you can see again the outline, there was a rug here.
Yeah.
So we've lifted this up several times, and it's about probably a good 12 inches, probably 16 inches deep. And so people could, maybe in the early 1800s, late 1700s, kids could stay under there or they could hide there, but mainly it was, some of their treasures. And again, the stories, saying that the old caretaker, they found some treasures underneath there, but they never shared that with us as to what it is that they found. Again, you look at the molding, very unusual. Wonderful molding. The early pictures that I have of this room shows the ceiling as it is. But look at that, how high this ceiling is versus some of the other rooms. Now, this we finally call our spa.
Oh, nice.
With a sunken bathtub. Oh, let there be light. There was light. And this house is really in poor condition. That's really sad. We have no idea what we're going to get into when we start redoing renovations on this house. And this is the other cabinet, boat front. There, I think you've seen every single part of the house. You notice that there's a brick floor. Again, when we first got it, we figured it was the fox den. We found several fox dens throughout the property. These buildings have been brought in, so we don't think this is where the original smokehouse was. Our original kitchen is way over yonder. Basically, there's still a hanging ham up there, Smithfield ham. And kind of joke about it, and kind of on our 10th anniversary, we think we're going to take it down and carve it and see how good it is. It even smells. You can smell the smoke.
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
it.
say I can. Yeah.
And this was full of stuff. So another interesting thing is that because she was a hoarder, she just didn't have one shovel. We found 29
Ugh.
shovels
Oh my
in
gosh.
different stages of repair, disrepair.
A bowling
She
ball.
just never had one of anything. But this just is a wonderful smokehouse. I wish you could, the people watching this, I wish you could smell. It's a wonderful smell.
Royal Crown. Collection of old tubs. Trough down here, used by the animals at one time. All right, so we're gonna look at some of the older furniture inside the garage here. A nice golf cart. Oh, okay. So a couple old baby carriages back here. Big safe. Let's see where this thing was made. Doesn't say.
Talked to the locksmith. He said that wonderful safe there dates anywhere from 1800 to 1810.
Oh, wow.
He said it would cost us $500 to open it up. Needless to say, I think it's going to be closed.
Right. A lot of bed frames. A real old lawnmower. Okay, any of you guys out there know what this is? Please put it in the comments. I can't read the writing on the side. Interesting though. Came around, took a look at some of these baby chairs. Huh.
All these beds came out of the house. Everything in here came out of the house. And a lot more that we've thrown away. We're on our 17th dumpster.
Wow. Oh. Quite a collection of chairs. Looks like this might be nice if it was fixed up back here.
Every single room had a rug in it, and they were terrible shape. But I mean, you saw in there upstairs especially the footprint on the floor, and that's because of these wonderful old rugs. We don't know what to do with them. This is one of my favorite rocking chairs. Nice old rocking chair. I think it's very, very comfortable.
Yeah, looks like it.
This is an old interesting table. It folds up. Again, with the horse theme. She was big into horses.
Let's see.
We had maybe 3 wardrobes. This is the last of the wardrobes. If anybody wants to buy any of this, we'd love to sell it to them.
All right, take a look at the barn. The original barn was accidentally burned down by the grandson. You see the long driveway, the cedar alley, a few pine trees leading up.
No,
Oh yeah,
the praying mantis.
praying mantis.
As I've mentioned several times, Bernadine was a hoarder. And she brought in all this lumber. We've thrown a lot away. But this whole barn was covered on both sides with lumber that wasn't set up very nicely. David has done a wonderful job in putting the lumber together. This was full of hay and was a real hazard. So needless to say, we've taken the hay out. We've burnt the hay. But this lumber, we hope that some of the lumber we can maybe use when we redo the mill or in the house. Peek in there. Can you peek in there? I don't know. That was all full of hay. Stacks and stacks of hay. We've seen a lot of wonderful pictures of barns similar to ours that have been converted and made into a useful facility. Again, our priority is the mill, first and foremost. But with this beautiful barn, you look at the workmanship that they did. It was almost like the Amish built it.
Heck of a barn.
Who needs another cupola?
Yeah. As you see, very thorough tour. Very grateful she had me out. I'm gonna hit the road. As always, guys, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.